After hours of waiting, one wildebeest ventures into the river and the rest come cascading, accompanied by zebras and some gazelles. This marking the beginning of the annual wildebeest migration at Kenya's Maasai Mara National Reserve. This is one of the most highly anticipated sights at the Maasai Mara. Thousands of wildebeest making the crossing from Tanzania's Serengeti across the river into Kenya in a movement as old as time. And this movement also serves as an important genetic function. This migration, researchers say, is vital for the survival of the wildebeest. Xiaodong Lu and Hella Rasmus were part of a team that studied the impact of disrupted migratory routes on wildebeest genetics. The researchers found that wildebeest populations that no longer migrate are less genetically healthy than those that continue to move. Because their populations aren't mixing with other wildebeest groups, they are more likely to breed among themselves. That makes them less able to evolve or cope with changes to the environment.
So if the climate change continues to occur as today, species that don't migrate anymore, there is not much genetic variation for these animals to work with to adapt to a changing environment.
Reduced genetic diversity makes animals less healthy and more vulnerable to illness and infertility.
If it threatens the fertility and the survival of the individuals, naturally this will over time lead to yet lower population sizes. And then that is when a population can enter this downward spiral that is we also sometimes call an extinction vortex, because reduced survival, reduced fertility leads to yet lower population sizes, and that leads to more inbreeding, and then we can have a spiral that just goes downwards and downwards.
The migration of wildebeest from the Serengeti Plains in Tanzania to the Maasai Mara in Kenya brings different groups of wildebeest together, diversifying their gene pool.
When wildebeest come to Maasai Mara National Reserve, basically they come to breed. And now we have a lot of food, long grass, fresh grass, that give them energy.
But modern infrastructure and growing populations are putting pressure on wildlife migration corridors. Conservationists are worried that this could have a devastating impact given the lessons learned in another country, Botswana. In the past, Botswana is reported to have been the home of the second largest wildebeest migration in the world. However, fencing by communities to protect their cattle from wild animals saw the Kalahari wildebeest population drop from roughly 260,000 in the 1970s to fewer than 15,000 in the late 1980s. Scientists report that over 1.2 million wildebeest still make their annual Mara-Serengeti migration. Conservationists are now working with other stakeholders and local communities to maintain those numbers. They say it all starts by safeguarding the wildlife corridors.
We are trying to engage the landowners if they can get rid of their fences so that we can have free movement of wildlife outside the reserve and inside the reserve.
Bringing down the barriers to ensure the annual migration cycle continues. Wilkes Anyabwa, CGTN.